Hey guys, welcome to another Battleblood commentary. It's my second commentary of the day. Had a little bit of warm up, and as you can see, we're up against some returning players. And what's kind of funny is that the first player in this case, Angel Dust and Angel Lotusdust, we have a feeling that he's the same person. We played the Katherine Bluebreeze in another match in the previous video, so go check that one out. That's when we've first started being able to be successful in countering blade stackers. So here we've met them again. We've got first turn this time, and we know we're up against. Let's see. We're assuming he's definitely life, putting all these shields on top of him, and we have an ice at the very end, so we're guessing, oh boy, okay, based on their health, we have a life myth double ice combo, and it's very, very convenient for their setup at this point. Looking at Kieran Legend, where he's sitting at, he can basically break the shields, any ice shields on top of us. Therefore, Catherine doesn't have to play as a shield breaker for the second angel. She can in fact go with a burst damage hit if needed, and Kieran can go ahead and just remove our shields and whatnot, and our stun shields. So we're up for some surprise hits. This is definitely going to be a big epic match. It's going to be very long, so hopefully, luckily YouTube, if you have, especially have an account, I think it uses some cookies, which are basically like little codes that saves information whenever you visit a website. And I think what they've done is allow for you to resume from where you last left off when you're watching a video. So you can quit out of here right now, get a coffee, and then when you come back, start up YouTube again, go to this video. It should start where you last left off. So here we go. We didn't want them putting up too many blades. We're gonna go ahead and start putting stun shields right away, slow this team down, especially with them going second. And as you can see, they're doing a really nice job in protecting their myth player as well, knowing he's the lowest life. They're gonna go ahead and put some extra shield on him. And he spoke. We're gonna go ahead and look at the pets or the stats. Little Freudian slip there, but not really Freudian in nature, just kind of, to be honest, kind of a little bit annoying when they go good boy, good girl. There are rumors that saying that enhances your sprite rates. No, not true at all. So, I guess you can say good boy, good girl to your pets in friendly matches and whatnot. But this one we knew stuff was going to go down, so we're going to go ahead and try to knock out that myth player as soon as possible. Put the pressure on them, but no, we're going to go ahead and just test and see what his resists are against life. So Cass went ahead and hit. Yeah. So you're going to see a lot of the good girl, good boy thing, maybe until they feel pressured, and they'll hopefully stop. But no, it saying good boy, good girl to your pet does not increase chances of sprightly, and it's really just kind of obnoxious, but whatever. I mean, it's a free country, at least in the country that Wizard101 was made, so whatever. Now, as you can see, typical blade stacking at that point. They're gonna put all their eggs in one basket once again. So this is something. I mean, this is nothing new. The only thing is that its lineup is new. So we're gonna go ahead and stack on some extra weaknesses. There's still a storm shield. Fallon's gonna go ahead and try to pass, and Cass is gonna make sure that Angel Dust cannot life dispel her, in case they decide to hit and whatnot. So we were saving up pips. He's also talking, and we're looking at their. He spoke up too, checking out what kind of cards they have, what kind of amulets are they carrying. Rebirth amulet. That's the most important question you always want to ask. And I'm kind of speculating with Angel, hey, we may see a chain stun because there is one Frost Giant that will go down, and then an Earthquake to remove it, and then another Frost Giant to keep us in place. So that's one thing we don't do at the PvP parties. I think that's the only rule that we have. It's just a player cannot get stunned twice in a row, or be forced to pass twice in a row, uh, unless a Medusa is used. I mean, I think that's pretty fair enough. That's par. But anyways, here we go. Yep, Earthquake. Going to take out the stun shields as well, and any ice shields for sure. But definitely those stun shields are coming off, and we're expecting a Frost Giant combo. Frost Giant to stun us once again, and probably a Snow Angel to follow up, or maybe a huge bladed Frost Giant. So let's see what they're gonna do at this point. Too many Sprightlies going off. Even more blades. So that's just great. Okay, Angel Dust did, I think, cleanse the Nova weakness off of Angel Lotusdust. So I think he's a dual boxer if I'm not mistaken. So he's trying to carry on 2 accounts here. So we're gonna go ahead and just have Fallon use her pips. I mean, at this point, with that many blades and perhaps with another cleanse, we're gonna need to fire in some shots here and start cause that life player to worry about his teammates rather than support them as he has. So I'm going to try to stop them from stunning Ronan as well, put up another stun shield. Cass did have a conviction up. Fallon's going to use her pips because she didn't have conviction to stop a stun or stun shield to do that job, so she's going to go ahead and just use her pips at this point, let them hit her, and if they do kill her, at least she got her spell out. And we've gotten about 1,000 damage coming out. So that works there. He passes. Here comes another stun. So yeah. So I guess they didn't chain stun, but yeah, they are preventing us from playing as many cards as possible. So good play on that Myth's part. I'm glad they didn't chain stun at this turn. So let's see. Knowing that they have that many blades, hoping that Cass has an Earthquake. She does, but you're not going to need heals right away, especially if we can get rid of all those blades. So gonna go ahead and get rid of that entangle off of him too, but that is okay. We are gonna get rid of her weaknesses, which will help her, but we don't want him hitting, and we're gonna get rid of storm shields as well and stun shields, so they're up for any surprise attacks from us as well. So kind of evening and leveling the ground once again. As you can see, we're staying silent, and Sprightly's just going off like crazy. So, myth busted. Yep. We're people of a few words, but many Sprightlies. So meanwhile, Ronan's gonna go ahead and put his anti-stun up. That Myth doesn't have enough for an Earthquake, but he does next turn, so we're going to have to worry about that. Fallon and I are only safe from stuns for another round. They do have a bunch of pips at this point. And I'll be ready to rebirth us in case, we don't want Cass hitting, or at least Cass is low on pips now, but she saved the rest of the team. They were trying to cleanse in case of a melt of some sort, and there wasn't any. So she is going to try to slam and break any ice shields that may have been put up. So Earthquake got rid of the blades, and now they're not going to win with just in a few turns. I mean, it's only been 17 minutes in the game so far, and I think they were relying on the last guy with all those blades to hit with maybe a almost almost unstoppable snow angel, believe. Yeah, to basically, I mean, Snow Angel's overall damage is much greater than Frost Giant, so they're going to try to blast everything into us like that, trying to win within the next 2 rounds. But luckily, Cass does not have to worry about rebirthing twice and then having us lose the absorbs to massive ticks. Instead, she saved the entire team, throwing out all those pips just to make sure that we don't die within the next few rounds. And as you can see at the video timer, this is, I mean, there's going to be a lot more of the game going on. So, really, really good move on her part right there. Good thing she had that card in hand. I mean, this is pretty much the where we're getting comfortable with countering blade stacking teams and being able to withstand what they've got with the classes that we have. Meanwhile, they are out of stun shields at this point. They can combo hit. So what I'm going to do is basically, let's see what Ronan's going to do at this point. I hope he donated something to a healer. Let's see. Yes, he is going to build Cass pips up. I'm going to stun them to make sure they do not combo hit together and knock out Cass, knock out Fallon and whatnot. Allow Fallon to build up her pips even further. So, Frost Giant, not going to miss here because it has like has some enhancements on the accuracy. So, that Earthquake also setting us up for an extra turn of defense and allowing me to put even more damage into those players. That Myth is getting close to half health. Katherine is down to about 2/5 of her health. So she's taken a lot of damage over time so far, not getting the most protection possible. And a little trash talking going on. And like I said before, we basically, our team, we stay quiet and we keep our comments to ourselves because you never know how the battle will turn out, so you don't want to talk too soon or anything. If you win and you basically trash talk like that, you know, how are you going to feel afterwards? If you lose, it's more like whining, complaining, so definitely going to wait until the end game to really say anything, or maybe if it's past about 45 minutes or 50 and they start complaining. It's like, if you're going to complain, do it now, early game, if you have a problem at all. Otherwise, don't wait until the end when you start seeing the outcome and then you make remarks, because and we're just calling it as it is to our friends and saying, hey, we're expecting this and that. So, that's it. Anyways, we got a bunch of little commentary being exchanged to the crowd, so you're going to see a lot of that, especially in these serious and epic games. So I'm going to try to make sure, okay, that Myth has enough to Earthquake. We're going to make sure that they can't combo and hit us all at once. Make sure, and maybe even prevent us heal of some sort. So meanwhile, Fallon gonna go ahead and protect our team from a major hit of any sort, from perhaps like a Frost Giant coming from the last player. He is throwing out an attack, so they are for some reason not relying on heals all that much. Maybe someone's healing themselves, so that's pretty interesting. He's gonna try to knock out the attacks for us, knock off the absorbs at least, and then the Earthquake, I'm assuming, to remove the stun shields and any potential ice shields we may place up. And they're gonna either bombard us with Blizzard or some extra rank 7 plus attacks. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. And those successful areas getting Sprightly to spark off, so yeah, she won't be needing too many urgent heals and whatnot. Here's the Earthquake, as cold, so I'm trying to deal as much damage into us as possible. remove our stun shields. Luckily I've got my conviction up to help me prevent. And let's see. And I was saying to Angel, yeah, we basically saw that earthquake and these combos coming. So let's see. See if they're gonna try for a double ice attempt. Because if Fallon hit, you know, their resist would have been ridiculous, and she would have used her pips up for almost nothing. But now we know the life player is low on pips. He only has enough for one shot of rebirth next. But we're gonna need the heals pretty soon, apparently. With all that damage coming in. So I wonder. Let's see if Fallon saved the team with that melt. I guess they were expecting us to hit with the Storm Lord from Fallon, so. Yes, and he was planning to hit with something huge as well. Like a Frost Giant to stun Fallon, but nope. Protected herself at that point. Let's see. That angel tick right there, I'm worried. I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Fallon's gonna live. She does have two sprightly ticks in front of that ice tick. We were trying to spell him, making sure he cannot heal his teammates, but yeah, sprightly just happened to pop off at that point. So a little lucky leeway for this team. Trying to put even more damage, try to knock out one of these players or so. I'm gonna empower, get ready to earthquake if they or respond to with a heal of some sort in case they do decide to combo hit again with the Force Lord to knock Fallon out. Nope, she's gonna toss up the Storm Lord. They're unprotected as well. They aren't worried about shielding all of a sudden. So a little more trash talking from Angel Dust. And yeah, basically these sprightlies doing all the work for their life player in a way. And the flux is just heading out all over to them in a way. So let's see what he plays. I would assume a rebirth at this point. Had that entangle stayed on, he wouldn't have healed his ally. Let's see. And they're waiting to make sure she's stunned, but I'm not. Let's see what she does at this point. The Bluebreeze. She bladed, she will blizzard. So they're worried about spamming hits now than anything. Trying to smash in as much as possible. At least Fallon used up her pips. And she is going to lose her stun shields, unfortunately, but it's okay. These players, if you look at their pip ratio compared to ours, we'll be okay. See what he does. I'm expecting a blizzard. No, he's gonna infect her, but she's stunned now. So looking to Ronan. Okay, they're gonna smash us with blizzards, frogs, maybe another Forest Lord. We need to stop this combo somehow. You know, I need to find another empower of some sort. Nope, I'm gonna go ahead and put up my my empowerment bubble. This is when I've also changed up my deck a little bit, started getting rid of some shields and actually putting up a empowerment bubbles, because hey, if I'm the tank and I'm getting hit a lot by rank 4 spells and more, it's best that I build pips up that way. That way I don't have to empower, save onto some cards, and maybe these guys will give me more pips than empower would normally. So anyways, gonna put shields all over me, expecting some hits to come in, try to build up my pips faster, because they will attempt to try to take out my teammates for sure. Cass does have 2 sprightlies on top of her, not able to heal right now, but you know what, we're getting ready. I'm getting getting towards that point. She's going to try to stop that player. We're looking to, let's see. Yeah, we're looking to see, can we play a debuff of any sort on top of that melt in case a cleanse comes out, but no. Anyways, we're going to try to stop the last guy. He does have the blade. He can hit with the Snow Angel or Frost Giant, so we're going to try to stop him. Meanwhile, we're going to prevent me from getting stunned this round as well in case he does throw out the Frost Giant. And a feint comes over me, which is quite odd, but I guess he was trying to boost up the Earthquake. So, gonna deal a lot of damage, get rid of the infection. My stun shields are going down this time. Not looking good, but now I have enough for rebirth. Let's see what they're doing. A blizzard. So, I'll live through this one for sure. And good play on Cass's part once again. Another team-saving move, playing that meld and preventing him from sealing the deal. That definitely kept us alive somehow. Cass is still up. So, really awesome. They were just trying to spam Blizzard all over. Now I'm ready for my rebirth. Gonna give me a pip back. Cass is gonna add up even more heal on top of that. Let's see what Ronan does here. He's gonna donate, put Cass's pips back up. We know that they're just gonna stack on blades once again, trying to take us out. But we are ready for that. Meanwhile, let's see. Actually, in the background right now, I have one movie being processed. It's the 20-minute one. And here we go, a choke just to keep us in our place after being revived from my heals. So again, Bluebreeze has seen how I play, and I think Angel Dust has seen us play too. And I am feeling pretty frustrated at this point because well, many updates before I've basically stated, we fixed Earthquake. It isn't going to remove stun shields anymore, but it is still. So they are definitely keeping in here with their myth, preventing us from playing too many cards per turn. So again, back to that advanced concept of PvP, playing as many cards as possible on either side, trying to get 4 cards per turn, but he's slowing us down. He's not killing us, but he is taking away the stun shields, and they do have 2 other stunners in front. So, but at least he has low health, and that's the advantage here. And they're getting a little too confident. They're not worried about shielding all that much, and I think they will be soon because they're low on pips at this point. And if they're not shielding, they're getting too confident in what they're doing, so they're just trying to build up pips through charms, blades, no longer relying on defenses. So a little bit of the momentum will shift against them, continually throwing attacks into us as much as possible. Now they've got us stunned, and they're going to try to knock out Fallon as best as possible. But here we go, all that AoE is going to help remove that infection off Cass. She'll be able to get a full heal off, so that is a mistake on their part, putting a sprightly sensitive charm before using an AoE. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to weaken them a little bit further. They're trying to get another blizzard in, and Ronan's going to give some blades to me, build my pips up. So here we go. Rebirth's going to give me an extra pip with that empowerment bubble. Gotta love that that star magic spell. And so that gave me basically virtually a free plague right there. Fallon's gonna disarm him, removing any blades that they wish to stack or whatever. So in a way, he could have played a shield, which would have been much more efficient, but instead he's just, if he's gonna play a blade, that's his problem. His loss. So we're asking, hey Fallon, do you have another one? Let's try to take this out. Anyways, I have an Earthquake ready. I'm looking at everyone's pips. Cass is going to empower to build up her pips. Fallon's going to throw away her pips, so she's not going to be hitting after me. And I have the blades. And knowing this team, they've spammed weaknesses before, so they're probably wondering, oh, Kevin's now going to use our strategy to blade stack. No, not this point. Not at this point, guys. Sorry. So I'm going to smoke them in case they try to attempt to take off those weaknesses with cleanses, and we are going to dispel him, prevent him from throwing out like a Forest Lord or so in a combo with these others. So anyways, trying to remove that plague, only remove the smoke screen, so he's able to hit, but it's not going to be a full blast attack. Going to take out my blades and the stun shields, unfortunately. But it's okay because I don't think the ice are ready to hit with a stun of some sort. Yeah, definitely not. So anyway, Sprightly's going to pop off that smoke screen for him too, unfortunately. But they are giving us some extra heals with all this area attack. He's going to pass, and he's probably going to spam another blizzard. So at this point, they realize, okay, we're not going to stack blades all that often anymore. We'll try to keep these guys low and force them to play as many heal cards as possible. Angel has barely played that many heals. Has barely played any heals, actually. So he's holding on to his reserve and ready for an emergency at any point. So we're going to have to find a weak point and force him to not support his teammates in terms of offensively, in terms of blading and whatnot, but we're going to force him to play defensively and not worry about us, but worry about his teammates. So meanwhile, we do see this combo going on. Katherine still has her smoke screen on top of her, and I think she may be relying on the Sprightly to remove it. Cass is going to go ahead and put up a stun shield because Kieran does have enough to use Blinding Light and stop us. So Ronan's going to throw out his pips, assuming he'll get stunned. And it'll also block off a potential cleanse to remove that entangle with to remove that entangle. So even more weaknesses that'll actually put a dent into Katherine's damage as well. Put a dent in everyone's damage on the other side and into their health. So drawing it out as much as possible. And I've passed at this point. I'm not sure why. I don't think I got a card out in time. Wanted to wait and see what they're doing. And here we go, some blades. Let's see if they're gonna blizzard spam. So as called, they are gonna play that that blinding light there. So pardon me if I keep saying that the myth is playing a choke. It's fewer syllables, much better. So anyways, Katherine's getting some extra blades from teammates. She still has that smoke screen on top of her. I am stunned. Ronan is stunned. Fallon can move with that conviction. Really good play. Cass can move with that. And let's see what. Well, their life player still cannot play a life spell, but he is applying one of our concepts that you don't always have to play as a school of your own class. So that's how he's been able to play other cards and basically deal with it. Mainly, meanwhile, he's gonna cleanse. And he's making the wrong calls, unfortunately, and they are going to double cleanse, actually, to make sure that their ice players do not have their damages dented. So some more blades, and he's trying to call for Earthquake. We're thinking, okay, we'll probably need that Earthquake unless we can play even more weaknesses on top of them, or possibly melt them. But you know what? I have the heal. Ronan can set up even more weaknesses. They can keep putting blades up and try to cleanse and whatnot, but it's not going to stop us. And I'm going to stun the... actually, I'm just going to put in a hit and use my pips while I can. So, and also stun them, prevent them from cleansing each other and whatnot. So it's okay if he lost that life dispel. Sprightly might have popped it off anyway, but at least we're getting rid of all these treasures. So the more treasures that they're playing and stacking on top, we only have to use one of ours, Earthquake, to get rid of all those, so they can't reshuffle those back in. We're trying to drag out this game into the long run because their team will eventually lose out on the advantages of the treasures. They will lose out on the advantage of quick kills, ending the game early, and be forced to play with regular blades at that point, and no longer have that many cleanses to remove the weaknesses from Ronan's Novas. So again, it's a balance between what you have between your reshuffleable cards and your non-reshuffleable. So gonna stop them from playing any cards and supporting one another. No shields as well, no storm shields. Watching Fallon's pips, we know that we're going to need her to hit pretty soon and whatnot. So if Angel wants to make a case that all they do is weakness and quake, well, let's look at Kieran here. He is the one who's able to use the power pips, who can quake and stun. So I think weakening damage is a lot less safer than making sure an opponent doesn't hit at all. You know, who knows if they critical and it manages to get through the block rate. But anyways, we're gonna try to take out Angel. He does have the least life as right at this point, and we're just gonna throw everything into them. We're expecting, okay, you know what, Ronan, we'll go ahead and let Fallon hit alone, and I'll support with the Frost Giant. Let's prevent any of these other guys with huge pips from healing. Meanwhile, Cass is gonna get ready to hit or heal. And yeah, I did definitely. That was definitely made a good point there. If they're stunning us so much and preventing us from using our cards, see, this is different than death, because we can use cards at our will, but because they are stunning us so much, we're holding onto our cards while they're using their cards. They're gonna have to shuffle a lot sooner than we do. So anyways, gonna put in as much damage as possible, take out the life player, force them into a corner. And unfortunately she fizzles, so they're already going to see, okay, well, their life player needs some help right now. They've already life dispelled Katherine. Let's see what's going on here. There is going to be a fairy being played by like Kieran there, so here we go. He's got some health back, man, huge health actually. So he's back in the 2000s. Yeah, so unfortunately could not prevent. I mean, if Fallon did hit, yeah, I guess they saw that coming. Kieran did play that very nicely, but he wouldn't have had conviction up if, and plus the stun shields would be missing. So that's all we needed. His pits would still be up, but at least we'll be able to take him out. He's forcing these guys, the rest of them, to worry about healing their life player than anything. Anyways, more altercations between the crowd and some of the duelists that we're up against, but we're still not going to say anything just yet, even though it's an hour into the game. Gonna put in as much damage as possible, forcing that life player to worry about healing than anything. I mean, they are not playing any more shields. They're not protecting, and in this case, we're not worried about shielding all that much because they do have a myth player that can take that away for both of those ices. So, as a necessity, we do have to sometimes discard the shields for blades, for other utility spells. So anyways, he's getting really, really confident about, go ahead and earth us again. He doesn't know how many earthquakes that we're carrying, and they're just gonna spam as many debuffs on the cast right now at this point. But there isn't a weakness on top of her, so that's pretty interesting. Meanwhile, she's gonna stop them from healing, him from doing an area heal. We do not have enough pips to hit though, so. If Katherine and Angel are self-sufficient, they can toss each themselves a satyr, but they do have a smokescreen. So, because Angel is the only sure one that can throw a heal, we're going to try to stop him. The other two are very uncertain. Katherine has a life dispel on top of herself, and there's a smokescreen on top of the second Angel. So meanwhile, just gonna prevent them from cleansing anything as well. So cleansing any smoke screens or hitting if they want to. So good play by Fallon right there. She is gonna hit, but it's weakened by that plague. Gonna get rid of our towers. So, pretty, yeah, definitely a long match at this point. I mean, don't know why I'm stating the obvious here. So let's see. They are spamming infections now. They finally found the cards up towards the bottom of their deck. So it's again like what we saw from last time when we fought Bluebreeze. It's a bunch of weakness or infection spamming, but that's okay. They have the myth player. So what we're gonna do is try to slowly remove those and ensure that everyone is close to full health and whatnot, while ensuring that Cass has enough pips to react. While Ronan's gonna go ahead and just tap on one of the players a little bit. Let's see. We're going to try to shield up, and I mean, if he wants to earthquake, that's okay, but at least Fallon's building up pips, and if he does an earthquake, that's, if he wants to stun, that's totally fine. Cass will be okay from getting attacked, and there is the stun coming out, but at least she's not going to get hit with too hard by an ice attack. Meanwhile, Catherine's gonna try to kick that off to allow herself to heal one of her teammates. Meanwhile, more blades are being stacked up. I'm the only one who can earthquake. Cass is enough for a heal, but she's infected. But you know what? Gonna have to save my teammates. Look at Fallon's pips. She has 5 pips. If she gets a power pip next, she has a Stormlord. She can help stun. So meanwhile, Ronan's gonna beguile, because, I mean, if they're worried about him hitting and whatnot, we're going to go ahead and let him hit his teammates instead. So, life dispel on Cass, not letting her heal supposedly next round, which is kind of funny. Anyways, they did cleanse him, so they were expecting him to hit, giving us blades and whatnot. So, again, there's that counter against putting all your eggs in one basket. I mean, blades are just indicators that, hey, this person's going to hit eventually. So they are definitely like critical targets for beguiles, dispels, and whatnot. So be careful with how you play. You want to play, I guess, like a ninja, and not give away your position so easily. So he is going to toss out that Frost Giant. Good play by Ronan, going to let him hurt his teammates, take advantage of their Blake stacking against them. And now they're getting, I mean, this is the problem with their lack of chemistry, or lack of trust. I told you to blizz, or whatever. Like, there's some authority, there's some, I don't know, authority going on, but I think it's really due to miscommunication with dual boxing added on with little chemistry. These players definitely just teamed up just to play with one another, but they don't really understand one another as much as Perfect Catch does. So here we go. It's an hour after the match has started. I'm, telling the team, okay, you know what? We can say whatever. We've already studied enough about them to know what we do. So let's go ahead and take them out. Meanwhile, I'm hoping that Cass has some kind of attack because, let's see, Angel will be protected from hits from us, but we're just going to try as hard as we can. Actually, Cass cannot hit. My bad. So she's going to get rid of that so she can attack next round. So the way Beguile works is when the arrow points to you twice, once the arrow hits you the second time, like the arrow's pointing at me right now with the sprightly, once the arrow points at you the second time, any spell you cast will be treated as, well, actually not any spell, but actually, yeah, any spell will be treated as normal. So if you do an area attack, then it's going to hurt enemies. If you do a heal, it's going to heal your allies. But in this case, watch, the arrow had only touched upon the on Angel once, so that's why he's still on our team. He is not yet back on their team until the arrow points to him a second time. Meanwhile, Rebirth is going to go up, but it's not going to go up for him, and supposedly he will throw a satyr to himself to heal. Meanwhile, he's going to get that frog off, so luckily Cass got the entangle off of herself with that cleanse. Beautiful play. She's ready to heal if needed. Anyways, he's calling it a dumb beguile, but I beg to differ because he is taking a lot of damage at this point. He did get hit by his teammate with the Snow Angel, and he did hit his teammates, forcing them to heal and remove, and forcing them to lose a teammate, therefore lose their stun shields. We don't even need to Earthquake to remove the stun shields. So yeah, I guess we're taking advantage of that little bug too, but you know what? Gotta fight fire with fire, as I say. Well, Blizzard Barrage, they're still going to pound even more damage into their ally right there, so that's kind of funny that they didn't foresee that. So again, you have to wait until the arrow points at you twice before you know you're safe and whatnot. But as you can see, we went first, so poor Angel Lotus having to wait through all of that. So meanwhile, we can hit. Fallon is close to death at this point. We need her to do something as well. I'm ready to Earthquake and Empower right after, or Rebirth and Empower. Cass is ready to hit. We're gonna combo hit, just basically stop them from healing the first player, and take advantage of my blade and the ice bubble that's up, and the blade storm that Ronan put up a turn ago. So really great job. Gonna pressure them even further. Make sure that these guys lose their pips and their stun shields as well. They're far from healing one another. They can toss out all the fairies they want, or sprites, or satyrs, but we're gonna try to get them. Hoping that the lack of their team chemistry will play against them. Their lack of trust, so they'll be more self-sufficient. They'll be kind of selfish with heals, I would say. I don't know. I wouldn't call it selfish, but they'll want to heal themselves more often than not. But let's see if they heal each other. We do have a dual boxer, so he is probably going to throw him like a pixie of some sort, make sure he's alive, and then maybe he can throw a satyr to the first player. So let's see how how this team plays out. Gonna go ahead and throw that up. So if anyone shields a player that's after them, the tick will take it out, and it'll prepare Fallon for a potential Tempest. And I think if she didn't play a Tempest, I'm not sure what we had her play instead. She is very close to dying. If she can throw in a Tempest just to play a card, because if Katherine does hit, or if another player hits, then we are definitely doomed at that point. Or at least Fallon is. But no, she's going to go ahead and try to cleanse that infection off of Cass, so we were preparing for some kind of heal next turn. But the sprightly had already removed it, so I can hear the slap in the face that Fallon did to herself in a way, just kind of like a head smack, like, ugh, why'd I do that? well, there is a sprite for the last player, so unfortunately, he is going to keep up their hitter, but at least he had lost out on the blades. That's okay. Let's see what this guy does. He is going to hit, it looks like. Yeah, Blizzard. So, kind of interesting that maybe they ran out of rank 7s and rank 8s. Or they're just trying to work and spam slowly. Which is quite odd. I mean, mathematically, yeah, you get a lot more damage out of 2 Blizzards than 1 single Frost Giant. But timing also counts. I mean, when you have Spritelys on an opponent, you do not want to hit them right away just yet, especially if they have like 5 Spritelys, because that damage will just get undone if they survive. So, Cass is ready to rebirth, and we'll probably need it at this point. And I'm asking Ronan, hey, do you have a donate? We need to speed my pips up as fast as we can. Let's go ahead and try to knock out these players wherever possible, because my ticks are strong. So, let's see. I think we're going to do a Tempest with Fallon. Let's see what's going on. We're tossing on attacks and not healing at this point, so we're kind of playing a little risque, to be honest. So here we go. We're facing a potential unicorn. So we're going to try and basically just take out these players as best as possible. Ronan's going to try to slam down another player, the myth. It turns fire, unfortunately, with an ice to get an extra boost. But that's okay. Let's see what I play here. Empower, going to build my pips up. I'm going to be the healer, basically, and let Cass player imp just to tip that other person over. But I think he had arena gear, so he resisted it very well. So that sprite's he's gonna get an extra tick from that sprite again. Let's see what Fallon does. It's gonna be bats. So I'm gonna try to push that myth player down as far as we can, hoping to take him out, but no, won't get there. So anyways, hoping that the ice tick will take out that myth player. He has the most pips. He can stun us. He can earthquake. We do not need another stun coming in and being surprised at this point. So anyways, more infections. No heals coming out, and we do end up killing him. So lack of chemistry there. Maybe not carrying any unicorns or some kind of heal, or not expecting us to take out Kieran so quickly. So anyways, they were worried about us taking out Angel Dust instead, so she's not even healing herself, which would have been much more efficient, I would say. Anyways, the Blizzard is going to try to hit us, but no. So he is close to death still. He did get a sprightly tick, but not enough. We can attempt some AoEs, especially from me, and perhaps Cass next turn. I think she is close to 8 pips. No, she has 6 pips right now. She does have only 7 pips. We were hoping to like Force Lord a turn afterwards. She is 20 points from dying at this point. You know what? She's gonna hang in there with that much life. Not gonna heal herself. We're getting ready. Okay, you know what? We're going to knock out these players as best as possible. Cass will get healed up by the Spritelys, and I'm just gonna try to add in a little bit extra damage and take out those ice players even further with more ticks. Getting bladed here with a gargantuan snow angel, hoping I do not fizzle at this point. And I do. That's just great. So, anyways, let's see what these ice players are playing. Good thing I fizzled in a way, because if they do knock out Cass with the double blizzard, they've used up their pips, and this life player wouldn't be able to satyr someone, assuming we would have killed someone. And yep, he's gonna throw out his pips. I don't know if that was a sprite or a pixie or a fairy or a unicorn. Well, not a unicorn, or a satyr. So it's okay. So that blizzard is going to come out. It is going to knock out Cass, but at least it prevented that ice player from being healed even further, and it might even didn't even get Fallon because of those sprightly ticks. And he's got his third sprite on top of him. So all right, so a bunch of rebirths, and I know Ronan probably got to donate somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and heal us all back up. But you know what? I do not want any of them healing themselves. But you know what? Nah. Ronan found his own entangle, so I discarded mine. Yeah. There's a lot more communication going on. It's hard to commentate and know exactly who has what in their hands at that time, but yeah, we're going to stop him from healing. We were expecting Catherine to maybe stun us, seeing that how we have a lot of pips, and that I have the habit of rebirthing with that many pips. Nowadays it's a lot more tricky. It's a lot trickier nowadays because of the what you call it, the amulets now. But she had to reshuffle herself. She ran out of cards, had to discard all those shields, all those blades and attacks, looking for heals, I suppose. And now she's back down to blading and shielding. We're low on pips, as you can see. He cannot heal just yet. We're going to try and affect his heal a little bit further. We're going to wait on a stun from Fallon to let her build her pips up. Going to knock out any shields that may be in the way. Going to prepare her to hit really hard, especially when and expecting that there will be a cleanse to remove that life dispel, but no, he's instead going to try to throw like a minor heal or minor blessing towards his teammate. She was trying, I don't know what spell she was playing exactly. Maybe a steel ward. No, actually it was a one pip spell. Maybe it was a blade. Totally missed that. Video sped up at 1.7 as always, but yeah. Anyways, he does throw out a blizzard, so giving Fallon another tick of sprightly right there, healing her up very, very well. And giving Team Perfect Catch their heals, their mostly deserved heals. And let's see. And yeah, he's going to get rid of that infection, so a little disappointment, but it's okay. Let's see if Cass has any entangles. My melt are now showing up, so let's see. Trying to decide, can we stop them from hitting? Well, they don't need a hit at this point. They're going to get stunned, except for Angel Dust, and there's nothing else he can really do, so kind of passing it, waiting it out here, seeing, okay, you know, what's he going to do, assuming that an entangle does come out from Cass. Let's see what kind of card he plays. We're assuming he might unicorn, just for the heck of it, trying to save his teammates. And they'll probably send shields over to him if he did heal at this point. So, but we do take out Catherine, so she's reshuffled, but that's okay. Meanwhile, he is going to toss her heal, so she is going to be playing some shields or blades of a sort. No, even more blades. So at this point, they're not even going defensive, even though they are going second and at a major disadvantage. I think maybe it's a little too confident. Maybe they're counting pips as well. Cass is going to try to infect, I believe. Yeah, she's going to put that infect up. He's got the blade. We're expecting maybe a blizzard barrage at this point, while Angel works really hard to try to bring back his teammates. So anyways, we play the beguile here, and they're thinking, lol, you know, you just put a infection, yeah, why infection then beguile? And here's the answer that I'm giving you. I'm saying we're gonna be safe, because if you played a rebirth, yeah, we don't need the heals. We're near full health at this point. If you played the rebirth, you wouldn't give your teammates the armor. You'll give it to us instead. So that's even better, because Ice already has a bunch of resist. But instead he plays that unicorn, so he was safe. So now he can play the rebirth at this point. We can only attack and aim for the other two allies of his. So we're going to go ahead and shield up. They do not have a way to take out shields unless Catherine hits, and then the last guy hits as well with a full-fledged blizzard. At least she won't be getting hurt too much. So he passes anyway. So I guess they don't understand the beguile whatsoever, knowing that, hey, the triangle points to you a second time, you are safe. Uh, so beguile is basically a double-edged sword. When used, use with caution. It doesn't mean that I mean, you can actually give the other team the winning move, and he should have played a heal at that point, because once that triangle turned towards him again, he could have healed all of his allies, and they could have actually hit to stop us, but they didn't. So, anyways, I'm not sure why he's saying more dispels. We barely even reshuffled, and I mean that's just kind of what to expect, because we're not going to let you hit us with so many blades on top of one person only. I mean, if you're going to sport all those blades and tell us, hey, you're going to hit eventually, well, you know. So anyways, we're preparing for a full hit attack. Cassandra's going to try to build up her pips or her cards, stash in as many cards as possible, and we're going to try to basically knock them out again with the, let's see, try to knock out that last person's blades and whatnot. So good thing he wasn't able to hit. He had to reshuffle, but you know what? We're going to slam as much damage into the life player at this point, with Fallon having a blade and me having a blade. She's going to Stormlord to stun all players now. So whatever move we play, it's all good. So yes, taking out the myth player, not letting him play a choke or something to stop us, or an earthquake to remove shields, and we're going to take out those 3 players. So no more ice hits that they have to rely on, and the life player forced to pass. So now we need to affect his heal as much as possible. Cass got all of her entangles back with that reshuffle, so putting a stop on the putting a stop onto the way they played, taking out one person at a time and just weakening them. The one mistake that they definitely made was not putting up enough shields. They were relying on just blades, and that's pretty much what happens. I mean, they're too used to using their ice resist and their massive health and the healer to really worry about resisting. But you know what? It's more important than you know. Criticals sometimes happen, and surprises happen. So here we go, and a judge comes in, and we end the battle with that. So GG to this team, but no more blade stacking, guys. Need a new strategy. Anyways, thanks for watching. Comment, like, or subscribe for more videos. There's going to be even more matches just as great as this one. And I mean, we've had some great losses too, and we're learning and building off strategies based on our losses and whatnot. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this match as much as we did, and look forward to more. So GG, and see you in the spiral.